Hey guys, it's your girl at Shop Simply Sue. My name is Cherie, back here on the Monday Meltdown podcast.
I'm Samantha, and we have officially been Monday, y'all.
We've been Monday.
We
This week you guys are in for a treat, but we've been Monday all day. Maybe it's daylight savings time ending. Is it starting or ending?
I really it's stop. Wait, no, we sprung forward, right?
Yeah.
Sprung forward. So we sprung forward, and apparently all my energy left springing forward because I ain't got that. Like, I really don't understand it. Like, I of course, yeah. But we have an awesome week. And she's gonna tell y'all about it. Go ahead.
So this week you guys are in for a treat. Ayana Cook of T2G Financial is going to be with a guest with us today. We had the opportunity of chatting with her last week, and she went over. Well, you'll just see. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Think it's a scam. We don't know the value that presents itself, and there's so many different types of insurance. So I guess I just kind of want to tell me what you think, tell me what you do, tell me how it works.
Awesome. Well, let's do that. Let's start with what we do, how it works, right? So when it comes to insurance, believe it or not, right, that's one of the biggest misconceptions as to why a lot of times people in our community, like you said, don't obtain life insurance because they feel like it's just this big beast that I can't unpack and I don't know how it works and there's so much out here. But believe it or not, at the end of the day, there are only two types of life insurance, right? You have term and you have cash value. Cash value is up with a lot of different names: whole life, universal life, variable life, flexible premium adjustable life, index universal life, most commonly known as IUL, right? Different things like that. But at the end of the day, you either have a cash value policy, which in cash value you pay for two benefits, right? Your death benefit, and then your cash value is what is considered a living benefit, meaning while you're living, you can utilize that money. By utilize, we mean borrow, right? So you see people say, hey, I took out a loan against my policy, or I borrowed against my policy, right? So it's money essentially that you put in, right? The company is not giving you anything. That is an interest-bearing account, right? But there are fees, and then there are it's interest on the loan. Traditionally, the interest on the loan is higher than the interest that the policy is growing at, most specifically in whole life. So you know that's kind of in your nutshell a cash value policy.
The question I have about term life, because I've had term life, you know that, is it's good for like let's say 30 years. So let's say if you're 30 when you get it, it's good for 30 years. You're locked into the price. When you're 60, what happens is you have to reassess and get another term, or the price just goes up at whatever rate that it says it's going to go up for.
Right. So with our company, right now, all term is created equal. Okay. But with our company, when you get to the end of your initial term, you are guaranteed renewable, guaranteed insurable through age 100.
This idea that you can get rich off of your insurance, I feel like it's fairly new. So, through your experience, around how long has, like, when did you see the trend really start becoming a trend? Like, how many times did you have to tell people that ain't what this is? Like, start
right. Well, believe it or not, it's not new. It's just like everything else, right? It's a trend. Okay, so we'll call it that, right? It kind of recycles itself. I mean, but this whole be your own bank concept has been out since the 80s, right? And there are articles in the New York Journal and the Wall Street Magazine where, plenty of lawsuits have been out for companies advertising life insurance as an investment. But there have been people attacking, right? Because this whole be your own bank is the elephant in the room when it comes to life insurance. If there are any life insurance conversations, that is part of it, right? So we can't ignore like that is not trending on TikTok and everywhere else and every other reel that you see on life insurance, right? Somebody's not telling you how to be your own bank, okay? But if we unpack and if we keep it simple, right? Because a lot of people that are a lot of agents that are advertising the be your own bank concept, right? So it's just a concept. It's not an actual product. You can't go to any life insurance company and say, hey, I want to be my own bank, right? It's a concept. Okay, so with that concept, what they're saying is to front load a policy, a cash value policy, typically more traditionally IULs, right? Sometimes you see it done in whole life. Where they're saying, okay, you can take let's say you have $100,000 in your 401k on a job that you left behind, right? And there's advising individuals to take that $100,000, front load your cash value policy, right? And then allow that to grow guaranteed, okay? Because there are some guaranteed interest rates on some of these cash value products. So they're saying, hey, let's get this guarantee that you can't get in the market, right? Which you cannot, right? There cannot be any guarantees in the market, okay? The market goes up and down. But let's, let this money grow at a guaranteed 3.5% to 4% interest rate over these certain amount of years, and then you can pull your money out. If I pull your money out, they never say the word borrow.
Borrow.
Right? But you can borrow. Okay, so
your
if
money.
If I already have $100,000 in my bank account, right? Why would I put the $100,000 in a life insurance policy just to borrow a certain percentage? Because remember, I can't take it all. If I take it all, it's a cash value surrender, right? And I'm just trying to drop the term so when people see this playback, they can start Googling these terms, okay? See what it is, right? So I can't take my full $100,000 back out. So I just paid, like what Cherie said earlier, it's a premium, right? Once I pay a premium to a life insurance company, it no longer belongs to me. It belongs to the life insurance company. Right, so I'm front loading it with 100. Now I can borrow, let's just say up to 80,000. So let's say I borrow $50,000 back from myself. I'm guaranteed growing 3.5% to 4%, but my loan interest rate on my $50,000 is 6 to 8%. Right, so now I'm paying back the insurance company interest on my own money, and then when I pass away, I have essentially given this life insurance company my retirement savings, because it does not go to my family. So for example, if I was asking someone, would you rather invest just in Dick's Sporting Goods or in the entire South Park Mall? What do you think most people answer is?
They probably would say Dick's because it seems more lucrative.
You think they'll say Dick's?
I think
most people,
I would say
believe it
Dick's.
or not, right? So see, you ain't more aggressive investor. See, but
I would say the whole mall. I would not just invest in one store. I would invest in all of it.
Right. Yeah. Most people say the whole mall. Why? Because diversification. Because if Dick's goes up, great, I got a piece of that. But if it plummets, right, I've mitigated my losses because I still have a little bit of stores over there. I still got a little bit of
JC
shoes.
Penney,
I still got a little
Macy's,
bit of
shoe
shoe
Yeah.
department. I still got a little Macy's. I
Yeah,
still got a little
yeah.
Foot Locker. I still, they may be up. So mutual funds help to mitigate your risk, right? It's a pool of investments. You can get a little Apple, a little Google, a little Microsoft, a little, and all of that can be in one fund, and it allows fractional shares. So you have a lot of people that can't necessarily afford to pay $250, $300 for one share of Microsoft or one share of Google. Right? But they can say, well, I still want to own some of that. So the only way to do that is in a mutual fund where that's the only place that's going to allow for fractional shares.
Huh. So do you build your own portfolio, or is it something that's already pre-packaged or designed?
So it's already the funds are already made, right? Now you can, let's say if you say, well, I want a fund that has some medical marijuana, or I want a fund that has Google, or I want a fund, then you can specifically identify funds that have that, right? And then you can use those mutual funds, but you can't necessarily create your own mutual, you can't put together your own mutual fund, but you can find mutual funds that have, if not all, at least the majority of what you're interested in investing in.
I was asking, what's the typical minimum investment to invest in a mutual fund? What do your clients typically buy in?
So the minimum with our companies is $25 a month, right? Which is like super affordable most times for your main street middle income Americans. Right now, we always preface that with $25 is not going to get you $1 million tomorrow, right? Or even in the next 5 years if we're doing $25
Bigger the risk,
a month,
bigger the reward.
Right. But it's a start. See, that go that aggressive investor. But it's a start, right? So to contact me, my name is Ayana Wiggins Cook. You can reach me by way of text or call 804-243-5051. You can find us on Facebook at T2G Financial Group. Instagram is at T2G Financial Group, and TikTok is T2GIN.
Awesome information. She was very, very knowledgeable, guys. I hope you paid attention to her contact information. If you didn't, obviously you can always reach us to reach you, or we can actually put it in the comments. We're likely going to put it in the comments. And by we, I mean Cherie, because I'm on my iPad and she's on her computer, and it just makes sense. As we're talking about,
I've been voluntold.
We really should put it in the comments. But it can't be me. I'm just offering up ideas. That's all. That's what I do. I offer ideas. But yeah, that was a lot of good information. I know for me particularly,
and there's so much more.
Because Avisha has sickle cell, it's a little different for me in terms of her life insurance, because, and it might have been the wrong information, but when we went, it was like, oh no, you can't get whole for her. And I was like, that's petty. I feel like that's a little petty, because there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know why. I don't know. America and the healthcare system, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I probably never will. I'm a little congested, so all of this, I'm sorry if I sound...
America and everything is interesting. Speaking of America, did you know? No, listen, I saw this thing online. Let me tell you. It was like something about the IRS. And the IRS, they want, how they want you to claim all your stuff and claim all your stuff. Yeah. They want you to claim stuff that you stole. They want you to claim property that's stole on your taxes for as full market value unless you give it back within the same year. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that. But you know what's worse? People are going to do it. Somebody is going to be...
There's going to be a line that says, I stole
there
this.
Is going to
you know what I'm saying? It better be under $500 or it's a felony.
Please be careful, okay? They try to catch y'all in these streets, okay? Read the fine print. Watch
Speaking of being caught in these streets, I think we have a visitor at the back door.
Do we?
We got a visitor.
So cool.
I think we have a visitor at the back door.
Oh,
I love it. Hello.
Welcome back to the Monday Meltdown podcast.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
Well,
I appreciate you guys popping in.
Yeah, absolutely. Two things. Off bat, we got Mondayed. Okay, I take full responsibility. I don't know if you saw the beginning. My mother-in-law was asking me questions about chocolate syrup. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
My bad. Okay.
It's all good.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Duke. Your wife was telling us about you.
Likewise.
She was saying she was the outgoing one. I was like, okay, you get him on this podcast. We're going to get him to say some words. Okay. We don't do the silent brooding type. Okay. we go.
Gotcha.
So she did tell us that she's the one that started, and then you hopped on board. So what was that moment for you? I'm low key like trying to get my hubby to like join stuff with me. So it's for me. It's for my own personal
okay.
thing. But when were you like, you know what? Go ahead and go on over there and help out with that. What made you do that?
Whoops.
When Coach came over here and explained the business to me, explained the concepts of how everything worked, what I saw was freedom. Right, I really didn't see the money. Right, I saw freedom to do what, when, and where, and how I wanted to do it, and the income was a plus. So I jumped right on it.
But you made me go first. Yeah, I told
Right.
I told him the truth the other day. You, Valen, told me that I was going to class and I was getting licensed. So she's saying, all right, after you, Valen, told me, and I went to class and I got licensed, so it made you like, all right, let me go ahead and get licensed too.
Oh, it was simple. I seen she was able to knock it out quick. It didn't take long. It wasn't a long process at all. So hey, let me go ahead and get it too. And we can be partnership in this business and we can run the numbers up. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's awesome. So you guys have taken the skill set and the tools that have been presented to you, and you guys have definitely started T2G, Train to Go.
Yeah.
I want to know more about T2G, what it stands for. Like, when people think about T2G, what do you want to be the lasting impression?
Great question. So T2G stands for Train to Go, Train to Grow, and True to God. Right? So we believe in all of anybody who joins our organization. Right, we're going to train them up to be ready to go. Right, you're going to have the fundamentals to be ready to, help families at least bare minimum a baseline level. Right, but we always are steadily growing. We believe in evolution. Right, we believe at getting better. Right, you've never arrived, so we always are training to grow. And through it all, we have to be true to God. Right, our goal. We were just talking with a client about a couple of hours ago on an appointment, right? And our goal, the lasting impression that I want to leave with my clients is that they feel like they've been told the truth, right? Which is so important in today's time, right? Yeah. They feel like they've been told the truth. They have a level of transparency, and they're walking away, regardless of their decision, that they're walking away making an informed decision. And if that informed decision is to become our client, you're walking away with hope that you've made a better decision for the financial future for yourself and for those who come behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead. I love it. I hate to be a cliche, but I love the fact that there are, because we were talking about it earlier about how resources, they're available. They're available. You just need to seek it out. But sometimes those resources can be intimidating, especially when they don't, I don't want to say don't look like you, but when you don't think someone can understand where you're coming from, it's hard to ask them for help on where to go.
Right.
So when I see you guys, I'm like, okay, this is not even just because you're Black. It's like, okay, you guys did it for financial freedom. For me, you know, anything that I decide to do, any move that I'm making right now, the baseline of me going to real estate school and everything that we have going on here, that's for my 3 kids. I need to be able to, one, sickle cell, if she gets hospitalized, I don't want to have to call out and ask permission.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be like, oh, can I go? Because sometimes she can be there for a week. You know what I mean? And that's something.
Oh, wow.
Right. So when I meet someone that has that mentality, where he was like, I didn't even see the dollar signs. It was the freedom to say, no, I'm gonna be able to do that. Clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more likely to be like, okay, when you and I have a conversation, one, I don't have to try to make you understand where I'm coming from and try and make you understand my mentality, which will make it easier in terms of having a true dialogue, because financial conversations are hard to have, period.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
The 2 things that people always get caught up on in any instance is pride and ego.
Yeah.
It's like duking it out in the ring when it comes to finances. Yeah.
So,
I've noticed.
Look, we had to put an all but we got the little ones acting crazy out there, so he got.
I get it. I'm surprised.
But that's what happens when you laugh, right? That's what happens when you laugh.
You know, I was listening to something, or I don't know if I was listening to something or if I was just thinking about something. But either way, it was loud enough for me to recognize it. And it was like, your job's purpose is to keep you from elevating, is to keep you employed as an employee, so that you don't go out and you don't seek other resources, so that you feel comfortable enough to want to stay, so that it just embeds that fear in you of, this is what I have to do and this is what I have to know. And I thought that was really, I don't know if it was just a revelation in my brain or whatever it was, but for the communication from the CEO, from down to whatever middle management there is and all the tiers, down to the employee, the communication is just so few and far between. Yep. It just keeps you up and keeps you busy in the minutia of the day, to where when you get home, your brain is exhausted, you're tired, you don't want to do anything else. And it's just, for those people that have a higher purpose and a feeling of wanting more, it's almost like, well, where do you start? And that's why I just want to touch base on like the trust part of, we spend a lot of time trusting. We spend a lot of our youth having our trust broken between family members, relationships. And it's just like, when you get into the young adulthood and it's time to really join like mentorships, because you would be somewhat of a mentorship for your business that you own and other people that you bring in underneath you. Absolutely. How do you develop and maintain that level of trust, to where you teach people to shift their mindset? You teach them to have their mind control their body and not their body control their mind.
Right. That's a hot question, right? That's a good one, right? Now I would say that it starts with building relationships, whether you want to call that building rapport, right? Because it takes time to build trust. Trust is not just one of those things that, like you said, because of through experiences and things like that, people are, by the time they get to early adulthood, it's like, I don't believe you. Right? It's kind of like that's how we've been just through experiences. So a lot of times, you know, on the front end of that, trust is going to come with factual information. Right? It's not going to come with a lot of opinion. It's not going to come with a lot of hearsay. It's going to come with facts. And in the financial services industry that we're in, that's what's most important. As we discussed last week, right? We're talking to most people, even our agents, right? Not just our clients, but even our agents about, hey, what's in black and white, right? What truly can you do? And here are the resources for you to get there. Here is the proof, right, that X, Y, and Z can be done. Here are paychecks, right, to show you that this is how the income works. Here is, you know, the manual to educate you on the different types of life insurance, right? I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to get licensed, trained, and developed, right, to run a financial services agency. And I'm going to be transparent with you about what it's going to take for us to get you there. But in the middle of that, I'm going to be finding out, or really on the forefront of that, I'm going to be finding out what is your why. Right? Everybody's why is different. Some people's why is freedom of time. Some people's why is their children. I want to be able to do the things for my children that I was never able to do, right? Some people's why is I want to retire my mom or my dad, or some people's why is I don't want to be a part of the 40-40-40 program, right? I don't want to work for 40 years for 40 hours a week just to retire off of 40% of my income, right? So, that's all things that we're finding out up front. So then when you let me know what your why is, right, we're going to take intentional steps, and I'm going to be talking with you and working with you on how to get there. The role sometimes as a coach, we tell our children this all the time. The role sometimes as a coach is not necessarily to be your friend, right? Because sometimes trust, right? Sometimes trust. Well, at all times, trust takes truth, right? And truth doesn't always feel good, right? But what we have to realize is we have enough people that we can laugh with, right? We have enough people that we can get in group chats and send memes and gossip sometimes with, right? We have enough people that can, cry with you, right? We have enough people that can support what you're doing and say, hey, great, well, at least we got enough of the lease, and well, at least you have a job, at least you have a house, at least you can provide food for your children. And we're not discounting any of that, but we're not in the business of specializing in lack or least, right? We're in the business of identifying how we can have life, abundance, freedom, and dominion, right? Because that is our birthright. So if it takes me being your coach, right, with a level of truth and a level of trust to say, hey, remember why we started this, right? This is what it's gonna take, and whether you like it or not, right? It's the truth, and you're building trust with me because I'm being transparent with you. So that's really what it looks like, is when we find coachable people that really just want to get to, they set goals and dreams, and they really want to accomplish them, and they're looking for a coach. And that's what we do as far as building our agents.
And I would say integrity, being transparent, right? Letting the people know, basically being consistent, letting people know, hey, I'm here for you, I'm here to help you, I'm here whatever you need, and they confide in you, right? And you be able to articulate the knowledge to them, whether they understand it, right? And be truthful with them. And people do business with who they like, know, and trust, right? And that'll gravitate people towards you. Right? Being consistent, having integrity, basically doing what you say you was gonna do, right? And you just be consistent in that. And I have a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. I have people. Hey, I don't like you, but I trust you, right? And I have a lot of investment clients like that. I trust you to do the right thing, right? I trust you because I know you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, right? Yeah. People gravitate
my sister in Christ said that to me today.
Right.
She definitely she said you can be a bitch, but your heart is pure. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I rock with you. Shout out to Forrest Black, because that's what she said to me today. But that was something that is a learned task. You touched base on a topic that I really want to talk about. This is the Monday Meltdown podcast. Our platform is spiritual, financial, mental health, wellness, development, growth. Coachable people. Coachable people is something that I really, 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 really want to touch base on, because, we get comfortable being around the people we've always been around. We get comfortable doing the things that we've always done. We get comfortable being how our parents want us to. We get comfortable just living in this comfortable life. And that sometimes leads to, I guess comfort brings not necessarily laziness, but it just lack of vision, for a better word, is kind of where I go with it. Yeah, complacency. So when dealing with, or when working with uncoachable people, or just people that just don't have a joy for knowledge and a joy for learning, how do you respectfully decline them or cancel them as a customer, or respectfully remove yourself from that circle? Because there's somebody out here that's listening that's in a pivotal point in their life. Because that's why they landed on the Monday Meltdown podcast, because they're in turmoil internally about what it is they're doing, trying to find their peace and who they are. We're trying to separate from who they've always been. How do you recommend, or how do you guide someone through the discomfort?
The easiest thing, right? So it is to you really have to, the best thing for that person. So the best thing for the uncoachable person is to, once again, we'll go back to being truthful, right? Is to tell them the truth. Yeah. Okay. And the sooner that you cut, like we say, kind of cut it at the root to stop the growth. Because see, the thing is, if you're around a person that's not coachable, that's not consistent, that's not committed, it can rub off on you, and then you can start thinking that it's a reflection of the guidance that you're trying to get them, and you can start thinking that, hey, I'm not effective. It's not that you're not effective, it's the person is not coachable. Right? So to, my easy way of doing that is to just simply say, hey, just let me know when you want to win. Right? Let me know when you want to win, and we'll always be here. That's about cordial as it gets, right? Let me know when you want to win. We're here, right? Yeah. We're here. We're gonna work with you. Should you change your mind, right? Should you, make the time? Because those are the common objections that we hear. Hey, I don't have the time. I can't give it 100%. I got too much on my plate right now, right? All those types of things, which in their mind sometimes is their reality, right? But what they don't realize is it's just stuff that they need to get out of the way. But hey, just let me know when you want to win, or hey, when things change, we will always be here, right? Letting them know, I can say with 100% assurity, unless I perish, right, I will be here. So when you are ready, just let me know, and I'll check back in, every quarter or every 6 months. Hey, just checking in, seeing if you're ready to get things rocking and rolling. Can we get your license? Can we, so we still have a follow-up system in place, but it will do your heart, your mind, and your business, whatever business that you're in. It will do your heart, your mind, and your business a beautiful thing if you just let it go, right? It's important that you cut it at the root, you let it go, and if it's meant to be, we simply believe that it'll come back around. But you let that person know that that hey, it's not a reflection of my system not working. It's not a reflection of my business not working. It's not a reflection of anything other than the fact that you're choosing not to work. Right. The system works. You're just choosing not to work it.
Gems all across the board. All across. I wouldn't even, validation almost, or just listening to, not necessarily, I don't want to say like mind thinking, that we only encourage like-minded thinking, but when you're on a different kind of journey, it feels good to share similar energy. And that's what I'm feeling right now. It's just similar energy. So y'all just see me catching the similar energy spirit. It just feels good. This is actually my money dance, because money makes me feel this good too.
Our team, I know this is the Monday Meltdown, right? But with our team, we have make money Monday. Okay,
I like it.
Money Monday. So that's why you got money dance, because it's Make Money Monday.
So, speaking of making money, you guys do. I just want to touch base to reiterate. Personal and professional financial development.
Oh yeah.
Correct?
Definitely.
Okay. Personal and professional. I know we touch base on annuities. We touch base on mutual funds, just regular investments. We touch base on IRAs. We touch base on cash value policies versus term policies. We went all into all sorts of, insurance and investments, because insurance is not an investment. Let's clear that up.
Right.
I've been to the school of T2G. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We went over all of that. You told me about your journey, and everybody can catch the full interview in a couple of weeks. It's going to be uploaded on YouTube. But for those people that are watching, because our target audience are people that are figuring it out. Like I said, I can't stress that enough, because there's a lot of people who pretend to figure it out, that sit on their phones scrolling, that go to these webinars online, that are privately trying to seek information, because like Samantha pointed out, pride and ego. So for those people that are searching for that financial understanding, where would you encourage somebody to start?
So when it comes to investing, I would say simple, trustworthy platforms like Investopedia, right? Market Watch. Those
And these are
those
research tools, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So they can go to those, and when it comes to investments, when it comes to life insurance,
just call Ayana.
Yeah. Right, with the exception of that. So that was my initial answer, right? But I'm trying to come with some incredible resources.
Don't be humble. Call Ayana.
So yeah, that's the first stop. The first stop is T2G Financial Group. Okay. But if you can't find us for whatever rhyme or reason, right, then which you can on all platforms. But if you cannot, then you want to go to credible research resources. And as a matter of fact, when people set appointments with us, we still go to those credible research resources, because I don't want you to just take my word or my presentation for it. So yeah, when it comes to investments, I would say Investopedia, Market Watch. Life insurance, you're gonna, you can find information as far as the credibility of companies on AM Best, how they're ranked, right? So AM Best ranks life insurance companies for their credibility, for their turnaround on paying death claims, which is super important. Their customer service, things like that. So that's somewhere that they can go as well, outside of contacting Ayana and Duke to set up an appointment.
No, that's
so the WhatsApp groups where you put $50 and you get 3,000. That doesn't count. That doesn't. Okay.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. None of
I was
those
saying that
groups,
for people in the back. Okay.
None of those flowers that were going around. All those flowers then died. They done turned. Yeah, the leaves and shriveled up and turned brown and all that type of stuff that was going on. But yeah, definitely none of that. That I wouldn't encourage. I mean, the thing is that, we have to realize that social media, with the you have some people that are building great platforms on it, right, and really scaling their businesses. The average person is using it for entertainment, right? It's for entertainment purposes. That's not where you want to go to find your credible information, like just for your foundation of your research, right? And you
don't want any information off social media. Let me just tell y'all that right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me just, even though this is social media, go to the website. You can get the real information. It'll be loaded there.
Exactly.
But this is for your entertainment, because it's like, this is a soapbox that I love the fact that you talk. So let's just hop on it. I feel like, let me just tell you what I feel about social media. Again, I feel like social media is brainwashing our youth. It's keeping us distracted from the real purpose of life. It's shortening our attention spans. And it's a platform that's free. So that means that there's nobody monitoring it, and anybody with phone can put information on, above, and around it to pollute whatever venom it is that they want to put out here in the world.
Right.
And people are attracted to people that are doing worse off than them, because they know bullshit sells. They like to watch people arguing and fighting. They like to watch people they like to watch people cheating or throwing things at each other. They like to watch people losing a bunch of money and burning things down, because it's a distraction from what's really going on with them. I want everybody that's watching to take a few minutes when you pick your phone up, because something uncomfortable happens. I've noticed that when people get uncomfortable, the first thing they do is they just get that phone and they just start scrolling because it's giving them that instant gratification. I encourage you guys to put it down and feel that discomfort, because emotions pass. You feel them, you understand them, and you learn how to cope and move on. Like, just, I really want to stress that, because there's a new generation of people behind the millennials that are changing the wave of how we do business, of what our values are, of what's important. Like, it's a soapbox that I could stand on all day long, because I watch it firsthand, even being, you know, in a management position in my previous life for an extended amount of time, let's say about 10 years or so. I watched the youth demise in knowledge and understanding. You know, they don't even understand the importance of human interaction. And this is pre-pandemic, sitting up straight, wearing the proper clothes, using proper English, making eye contact, a firm handshake, how to fill out an application. Like, they got to call their mom when they want to fill out the W-9 or W-4 or whatever. Like, no, I'm so serious. These are basic fundamentals of life that you need, because even to get a job at McDonald's, you have to do all 7 of those things that I just mentioned. And you're only going to make 7. What is minimum wage? You're only going to make $7 an hour, and you have to do all that. It's my soapbox.
It's all good. It's the truth. It is the truth. It is, you know, it's really changing. And one of the phrases, I can't remember who we got it from, but you know, we tell people you have to learn how to distract your distractions. Right? Distract, like you said, that distraction, when they go to that phone, you got to figure out a way to course correct and distract that distraction, or some people say starve your distractions, whatever it is. Because it truly does. I mean, you have to get to a point where you feel like your life depends on it, because it does. You know, the reality is that it truly does. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but it does. And I wanted to real quick go back to something that Samantha was saying when we had the audible and the kids got distracted, because I didn't want to not address one of the things that she said about financial conversations being tough, right? Which they are at the onset, right? So having that, making a point to have that conversation, right, is what's tough. Like setting the time and wrapping your mind around the fact that, hey, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this. But actually, once you actually get into the conversation, especially with us here at T2G Financial Group, right? Right, then that, you know, we do just like we did, and like y'all said, the full playback will be available, right? You have to be able to provide the client with relatable information, things that they can identify with, so they don't leave the conversation feeling confused, right? Our goal is that client leaves the conversation feeling like they can press the Staples button, like, we've been waiting all that time. That was easy, right? Y'all remember that red Staples button, right? That was easy. So when you want to have, you know, and that could make a difference when you're searching for whoever you're going to be handling your finances with and things like that. Don't get, you know, hyped up on verbiage overload, right? And talking over your head and things like that. You want to walk away understanding what's going on in the decisions that you made. So it's only hard actually preparing for it to happen. But when it does happen, right, when you do have that conversation, you should feel really good throughout the conversation. You should have a level of understanding, and you should feel okay with asking questions, right? And feeling like you truly are getting an answer to your questions, and then walk away from that conversation feeling like, hey, I truly have a financial game plan.
You know what's so funny to me? So I was in the military when I was MI. We had a lot of reports, a lot of briefings to do. Day one, and they said everything you say, everything you write at a 7th grade level. That's what they said. Day one, make everything that you write, everything you brief at a 7th grade. And this is military intelligence. I'm giving information to people who are literally about to go send troops out, or the troops themselves, in life and death situations. I have to break it down to 7th grade level. But having somebody talk to me about insurance or finance or stuff like that, it's like the words come out. I'm like, I don't understand. I had a whole conversation. No, I'm serious. I noticed that. I was in. It feels like I was in for 15 years. This is the level that I was on. And then I got out and I was like, I know I'm not dumb. So on the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's so complicated. I don't get it. Like, because it's like, it's almost like people try to, some people really are, I've noticed that too, because they're robotic, right? You either have book smart or you're street smart. And it's very rare to have had that combination, truly have that combination with both. So some people are very technical. The technical words are plain English to them. And I get that. I understand that. But it's like, when you're that person, go talk to other technical people. Get the other person here to tell me what you say. Okay. So the understanding part, big takeaway, anybody that is watching, if you have had a conversation, even if you're already working with someone, do not be afraid to have them break it down for you, because that's literally their job. Like, you're not asking them to do something that they should already be actively trying to do for you.
Absolutely.
And we have to get better with speaking up for ourselves as a whole, not even just about finances, just as a whole. There's a way, I know for Black women particularly, we
Shade.
she is Mr. Brian, she is, I know. Sorry, she is. There is a way to be respectful and still get your point across. I think as Black women, for the last, I don't know, most of my adult life, you have cues. The word aggressive irks me to no end.
Oh,
but it's,
speaking of Black women,
keep the box in the closet. Sit down.
Okay. Let me type it so I don't forget.
There go that truth. The coach roles reversing here. The coach roles.
It is.
Yeah.
You have key words. But I feel like because we heard that so much, I heard it growing up in the time where I didn't need to. So now it's like I'm reprogramming myself. It was like, no, I know that I'm speaking to you respectful. You need to understand what I'm saying and not have that whole aggression thing. So go ahead, because I see it coming out your ears. What you got?
Actually, what I wanted to comment, this is what I wanted to comment on. Black women aggression. The day after the Oscars, the whole world is talking about Angela Bassett. That's actually where I was going to go. The entire world was talking about her. I don't know if you guys saw the meme. Sam was telling me about it earlier, where they captured a picture of her reaction. And I felt like she was just sitting there looking, because she lost her Oscar nomination to Jamie Lee Curtis. And the world was giving her a hard time because she didn't stand up, she didn't clap, and she didn't smile. But this woman just lost an award that and they pegged her as having a scowl. They said that, they insinuated she has some sort of aggression when she really was just wallowing in her loss.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
so that's where I was going to go with the Black woman response, how our body language is perceived by others.
It's not of the Black people, because I'm telling you, you got a whole other side of the world coming to Auntie's defense. First of all, about the face, but that's what I'm saying about how we respond. Because that same, why is she scowling like that? Here go the people, y'all always telling Black women the Oscars and this, that, and the third. They've been doing it for years, and it's like, you all are taking sides and making it her being a scowl and then her not responding, as opposed to what she just said. Look at her as a person. She lost. She's not sitting there throwing daggers at the lady. She's sad because she lost. But everybody is so worried about her aggression that they're not taking into account her. Even the people that are coming to her aid, they're not saying, "Oh, she just lost." They're coming back with venom, like, "Oh, well, we lose all the time, and how many times we gotta lose this?" And it becomes a white media versus Black media, as opposed to her just losing. And sorry, I'm trying to open juice for my kid and it's not working. Take over. I'm so sick. I'm about to
that's a great segue to ask Ayana and Duke. Is that something that you all experience when you all are? Do you all experience any sort of discomfort from your customers who may be of different ethnicities when you're trying to give information? Is that like a barrier you guys have had to overcome, or is that not something that you had to deal with in your 10 plus years of experience?
You want to say something? You want to start that?
So of course this the other side. You have to deal with that. So business is done with cooperation, right? The moment we sit down with the person, or the moment we see a person, we already know whether we're gonna close or not. Let's say it like that, right? So
Sometimes
I'm not particularly. I'm interested in working with our people per se. So
With loud people?
our people. So
Oh, our people. Oh,
his target,
Yeah.
his
his target audience is the African American community.
who I like, know, and trust.
Right.
I don't have a problem with the other side, but I let Ayana deal with them.
Yeah.
So that's why it's two of us. Right?
We truly do. We told y'all transparency at its best, right?
Yeah.
So we truly do divide and conquer, because I've had experience even in other careers prior to this.
Yeah.
I've had experience with working with people from all walks of life. Cornelius, not so much,
right?
And I've had mostly positive experiences with people from all walks of life. Cornelius, not so much, right? So when you kind of have some of those dynamics, that's one of the things that's a power in partnership. But have I seen it? Have I seen it? Absolutely, right? Have I seen people form opinions or decisions just based on my appearance? Absolutely, right? Regardless of what your mouth says, I know I can tell what your mind and your heart says, right? And I'm okay with that. So are there, is there business that I don't have on my books that I'm 100% sure would be if I look different? Absolutely. Right. Do we see, we go to different conventions and things like that all of the time, and we see the dynamic of, it's not so much that African Americans aren't following people of other nationalities or backgrounds. It's that people of other nationalities or backgrounds are not following African Americans, right? Because we see a lot of African Americans that are on teams and within organizations of people who are of other descents, but it's very rare. It's not impossible, right? And we do see it. It's just a lot. I mean, it's a clear picture, right? It is what it is, right? It's a clear picture that it's a lot more of us coming together as far as African Americans being in other African Americans organizations versus, African Americans being in people of other descents organizations. You don't see a lot of people of other descents that are locking arms or really putting their trust into African Americans as it is the other way around, right? And it's unfortunate, but that is truly the way that it works right now. Not that it can't change, but that is the way that it is right now.
Assessment and a real assessment and understanding of how to operate in today's culture, ideally in areas like, for example, Petersburg. In areas like Petersburg, I would love to see more financial education from the home front, because in poverty-stricken areas such as Petersburg, Virginia, with high crime rates, low educational funding, just in areas that have those two dynamics in general, those people, and I say those people, like those people in that specific dynamic, don't have they're like the fleas in the jar. They don't have the thought process to think bigger than what they see and what they know. And that's fearful for me. That's fearful for me. I just want to say that aloud. Pray for Petersburg.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, like I'm so, because I see, because I do events there, and I work with some of the venue owners, and my nonprofit is based in that specific area, but I see the potential. There's a very big HBCU, probably 5 minutes up the road, that offers no incentive for students to come to that area, to put people with knowledge and education and vision, first of all, vision first and foremost in that area. And the vision is the gift from God. The discipline
Right.
comes from your structure, your background, so that you can grow. Grow the discipline. And it just cut the snake off at the head is when they take the discipline out of that area and they just leave what's left. It's almost like you just watch it deteriorate and you just watch it crumble and you watch the history and the roots go away. And I say that because it's one of those things where it's mostly our people. That is our legacy. That is our generation. That's what our future is going to be. That's
Right.
the basis of how Simply Sue started, because I was the general manager of an area that was close by. And I noticed the decline in the capability of the applicants specifically in that area. When they have this address on their application, it's almost like you want to skip it because you got to deal with bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, you have to deal with it's just a different beast. And I know we're taught not to cherry pick and not to profile, but you can't stop the common sense that God gave you. You know what I'm saying? If you get 10 apples and they're all rolling around, the 11th apple's going to roll too. So it's just kind of one of those areas where I really enjoy what it is you guys have built. And I can't wait to see what the philanthropist side of whatever T2G is going to grow into, because, after Bill and Melinda Gates started at Microsoft, they definitely went on to become philanthropists. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds. I'm definitely supporting you guys and I'm in your corner. And I'm so excited for all the information that I've received and the information that we're able to put out. You guys got to make sure that you stay tuned in for the full playback in a couple of weeks. We'll have the intro clip available on YouTube by Wednesday, the 15th at 9 a.m. if you guys want to catch some snippets about what insurance is and what mutual investments are. And I'm excited that you all were able to just enlighten us and have an interesting conversation. People don't have enough interesting conversations. They spend a lot of time gossiping and talking about who's doing what and how they feel, but we don't spend enough time talking about tangible information. And I think if we got out of our heads and into our hearts, we would just be moving with purpose.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we can't wait to see with this platform, right? We can't wait to see Meltdown.
We already know. We already know. We changed from Black media.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how to find you before we go. How can we find Ayana and Duke at T2G?
Yeah, so you can find Ayana and Duke right by call or text 804-243-5051. You can find us on Facebook at T2G Financial Group. You can find us on Instagram at T2G Financial Group, as well as TikTok at T2G INC. So 804-243-5051.
Typo. Hold on.
804-243-5051. Yes. Call or text, and we'll get the ball rolling. Absolutely. Let's have some healthy conversations.
Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys around. We'll be in touch.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
See y'all later. Have a great night.
Thank you.
I love talking to her.
Love it. But I'm gonna tell you, for don't at me, I don't care. I particularly made sure that I spoke to Mr. Duke first because I saw his face, and it probably reminds me of Kay. He's one of those people that you have to talk to before he opens up. So I was like, Mr. We coming for you right now, so we can get all that. Okay. I love the dynamic of what they have. I love the fact that they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, because sometimes in partnership, not everybody pays attention to other people's strengths as well as weaknesses. Like, it's very easy to say, I'm good at that, you're good at that. It's a little harder, one, to tell your friend that they're weaker in something, but also to admit that you're weaker in something and really just be like, hey, I'm weak in this, I need help, and have someone else take the wheel. So that partnership, that's what I when you see them interact, first of all, they're so cute as like their couple. I low-key wanted the baby to pop his head up like Avisha does here. I was like, oh,
you just want to see what they got going on.
Creation. I was totally fangirling. I wanted to see the baby when he got home. Let that baby come. You know what I mean? They do see the paper this time. But
You said something that just stuck out of my head. Like you said, the dynamic, the partner. She said the power and partnership. You said their dynamic, the contrast, how they have to come together, noticing the strengths and weaknesses. This kind of goes back full circle to what Ayana mentioned earlier about the United States. And something that you and I spoke on a couple of weeks ago was how individualism is high in the United States. Is the context. So the power and partnership comes from relinquishing that concept of individualism and then working on a team, kind of like, the Monday Meltdown podcast. We are three minds that each have added value with three different strengths and three different weaknesses. If you guys are out there working on something solo dolo, shame on you. You're never going to get anywhere. Like, you're never going to get anywhere. There is a true power in being able to put the pieces together to the puzzle to make everything really fit so you can get the ball to roll. Because if not, it's just
absolutely.
I just can't stress that enough. We had over the last couple of weeks, days, even hours, to be perfectly honest, and the conversations are changing and they're evolving. And I just hope that you guys are coming with us on this journey. Because if not, you're going to get left behind. You'll get some cool content. You'll get me doing this, but that's not that's not the purpose and the plan. We're all having a good time and we're figuring out our own personal journeys. And this is definitely a way for us to be able to do it. But the ability to be able to put the information into the community right there in our laps and be able to really touch people one person at a time and really just really help and really offer insight, education, wisdom, guidance, motivation, discipline is my purpose. That I am living in my purpose. I could not be happier. Are things okay with the people that are around me? Some days they are, some days they aren't, but I can only live for me because God gave me one heart, one mind, one soul, one spirit, and I'm living in that. So if my goal in life is to touch those that are around me, then it's a blessing that you were even able to encounter me, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. My family, my friends, my children, my coworkers, whomever, if I've ever come in contact with you, it's truly a gift and a blessing because I've been purposeful and live with intent with everything that I've said and done with each and every one of you. And I want you all to know that we are definitely streamlining more information, streamlining more tidbits, more tips, health awareness. Samantha has some big things coming together with her Herbalife business. We have some big things going on with that. Sickle cell advocacy, sickle cell information. We've got information compiled in that area as well, because we are, it's something that affects our community more so than others. And it's just information that, if I had a child with sickle cell, knock on wood, I'm thankful that I don't, but I know someone that does. So it's like I do. I wouldn't know where to begin. If you know someone that's dealing with mental health and wellness and illness, it's one of those things where we don't want to let you feel alone. We don't want to push it under the rug. Like, acceptance and understanding is the first step to getting better. So that way you can get more information. If you have someone that's not receiving the information, like, we're here for you. The Monday Meltdown podcast is here for you on the platform of financial, mental, and spiritual wealth and wellness. Join us on this journey. Tune in every Monday at 7:30. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at the Monday Meltdown podcast. Yes, ma'am.
7:30 to 7:45.
We're gonna be here, but we might be a few minutes.
We're gonna be here.
We are. This podcasting is definitely interesting. We have big ideas and big plans, and then we go to execute them, and we're like, "Ooh, this takes longer than we thought." And it's really trial and error. And I'm so glad that my cohorts are with me on this journey, so that we can just get through the learning curves together, so we can really streamline the communication. I feel so much better. Hi, Papali. I feel so much better just explaining this to them. If you guys have questions or comments, you can email them to the Monday Meltdown podcast at gmail.com. You can get the audio playbacks on www.shopspeaking2.com. Is that a fly swatter?
Yes, it is. It's a fly swatter.
I haven't seen one of those since my grandma passed. We had the wire one with the color plastic flip. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Papali.
There's another ball out there for you. No, you can't use that ball. That's not mommy's.
He's a ham. He's not a ham. He's the whole pig.
I don't even know what I'm saying. We were so close, y'all. You see how we were so
It's
close.
our fault though, because we were late. We were about 15 minutes late. So there you have it. It's our own fault.
It's ours.
Make sure that you guys check out Ayana. Here's her number one more time for everybody that's watching. Definitely, she does consultations, financial counseling. She'll get you guys together. I can't even go into all the services that she offers, but I know that she's a resource you want to have in your life. But until you have anything, Sam?
No, absolutely nothing. I just
Okay, make sure you guys tune in to the Monday Meltdown podcast. And until next time, be safe.